At the moment, Colin and I, we are working on a project. It's called Citizens versus Work, Generation to Generation. And this project is in collaboration with CAT Cologne and their sort of larger umbrella project, which is Citizens versus Work. Back in January, I made a proposal to CAT Cologne. And my proposal was focused more on gendered identities and focusing on not only labor, but also how we negotiate power on a daily basis, how we negotiate emotion on a daily basis, and how our negotiations with labor, power, and emotion form what we come to understand as our gendered identity. And these are all areas that were highlighted by Ray Weed Connell, who's a sociologist focusing on masculinities. And that proposal was there was a lot of interest in it on the part of CAT Cologne. But in the end, they decided to revisit Citizens versus Work, a project that they had done last year, and they invited myself and Colin to join in. And I'm very interested in it because it reaffirms what I have already been doing quite a bit in my own research on masculinities, and that is that these areas of power, labor, and emotion all overlap, interact, push, and pull against one another. And in doing so, it forms what we come to understand as our identity, as our gendered identity. And it's exciting because you see this happening in the stories that are told. You see this overlap. For instance, we have a story that focuses on an older generation, a generation that grew up during the Depression and during World War II. And in that, they talk about the importance of human touch within their work. And this, for me, is a prime example of when emotion overlaps with labor, when that need for emotional connection is intertwined with the way that we come to know and understand and engage in labor. And then there's another example that I'll give that is a story about a man who is actually the son of the generation that grew up during World War II and the Depression. And so this son was handed a way of understanding labor, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 2 weeks of vacation, and they wanted nothing to do with it. So they're resisting this power, this understanding of what labor should be, and they divert from that path and they become an entrepreneur. They find their own way through the resistance of what has become a cultural, social norm. And so there we find labor and power sort of pushing and pulling against one another. And I think if you come and see the show yourself, you'll see these overlaps. And the exciting thing about Studio Porte Bleue is then having that opportunity as an audience to reflect on that, having that opportunity to create a dialogue afterwards in which we're not only talking about the stories, we're also talking about your own experiences with labor. How do you connect with these stories? What do they mean to you? How do you labor? How does emotion become a part of that? How does power become a part of that? And that's the really exciting part of the work, and we're really excited to have an audience join us for it.